Gamers.
No.
Hello. Hang on. I don't have the logo up. There we go.
Oh
Wow.
no.
So professional. Also, I gotta turn. Well, Matt, you gotta turn yourself the fuck up.
I do.
Yeah.
My microphone is all the way up.
Uh
Oh
oh.
fucking a.
You're just gonna have to stop whispering.
Gamers.
It's time to get really close to my
There
microphone.
we go. That's
Source
that's
gamer.
that's Bredder.
Reddit.
That's Reddit, yeah. Hey, what's poppin', Game Assassins? Getting this stream up was a comedy of errors.
Oh
Because
boy.
I slept through my alarm. Because my phone died. So,
Be like
it's
that
the very
sometimes.
cool feeling, like, picking up my phone and being like, oh, I wonder what time it is. I just woke up and my alarm didn't go off. And I pressed the home button. And if you have one of the newer iPhones that still has the home button, you would know that when you press the home button, nothing, like, it's like a flat piece of glass, so nothing happens. And so I was like, oh, my phone is dead. And then I plugged it in and it finally turned on. And it's like 10:47. I was like, oh, fuck. And then it got worse because then I noticed I just didn't have internet. So I had to go fix that. So a whole lot of hoopla for nothing. Is this the episode where Colin rants about feel flows? No, no, I'm not gonna talk about feel flows. No one's gonna fucking. There's gonna be like
A
the
lot
one
of
guy in
hoopla.
the comment, and he's gonna go, oh, I can't believe he spent 30 minutes talking about music mastering isn't even real. Like just like close your ears,
Oh
bro.
no, I can confirm.
Yeah,
As a composer,
yeah.
mastering is not real.
Bro, what even is sibilance? Just fucking put some earplugs in. Holy shit, Matt, you should listen to like the Feel Flows box set. It's like it sounds like it was mixed like really amateurishly, which is incredible for like a Beach Boys box. Here, I'm you
Oh
know
boy, it sounds like it'd be something I could do.
no, you like unironically, I think most people could do a better job. Let me I'm not gonna play anything, of course, lest we get yeeted into the fucking stratosphere by Brother Records. But here, Matt, I'm just gonna DM this
Just
to
link it to
you.
me. Yeah.
Yeah, and we can hear your initial reactions. Here we go. Here's the fun bit. This is what you wanted, BWS. This is what you asked for.
Oh my fucking god.
Yeah,
Oh my god, it's such a fucking mess.
yeah. It's
Whoa.
like there's
It's
like
like
yeah, there's clipping. It's sibilant as
yeah.
hell. There's almost like no mids. It's brick
It's such
walled. It's
like yeah, it does feel like a brick wall. There is no like depth to the sound. It is all on top of itself.
yeah, it's
Ugh.
and the whole box is like this.
Ooh. Ooh, that's bad.
Oh my god. So yeah, there's holy fucking shit. There's like a long version of the song Till I Die. I guess this is us talking about Feel Flows. I guess let me preface it. Feel Flows is a box set of Beach Boys recordings and compositions between the years 1969 and 1971, which is a period in time in which the Beach Boys were probably at their creative peak. Like, of course, Pet Sounds is like their best album. That's what that's what everyone agrees on. But during that period, basically every member of the band was actually contributing instead of just Brian Wilson. And we got two really good albums out of it, Sunflower and Surf's Up, and then just like tons of just like miscellaneous recordings that basically went unreleased for the longest time. And they've been working on a box set of all of this stuff that was supposed to come out in 2019, and then it was supposed to come out in 2020, and now it finally came out. And yeah, it's just like, it's the mixing and mastering on it is really fucking bad. And so it's like all of this waiting, all of this time for something that just ugh. It's so awful. Do not listen.
It is quite bad.
Do not listen to the full track, but listen to the bass boost at like the opening of this. Oh, also Spazzy's here. Hello, Spazzy.
Good morning.
Good morning, Source Gaming. We were just talking about the fucking Beach Boys box set that came out last week that is just not good. I gotta put on my
very disappointing.
I gotta put on my red flannel. It's not good.
This like peaking bass reminds me of a Pepsi Man shit post I did where the bass was like 5 decibels loud.
Oh, you should skip through like halfway through where the vocals kick in, because they very clearly took an a cappella track that already had reverb on it and added more reverb.
Oh my god.
So it sounds like really wet.
It sounds like I'm in mud.
Yeah, it's so fucking bad. So yeah, everyone go on the Steve Hoffman forum and say that the Feel Flows box is bad. Do that for me. I don't want to make a Steve Hoffman forum account. I'm
sure every one of our followers has their own Steve Hoffman account.
There is one guy who used to be a patron of ours, and he absolutely had a Steve Hoffman account.
Well, so that one guy's listening today. So.
Yeah, I hope you're out there, bud. I miss you.
Oh, I gotta stop. That's fucking overwhelmingly loud.
Yeah, it's.
I'm sorry. Who's playing Sonic?
Hi.
It's gonna be Phantom.
Phantom?
Yeah.
It's time to stop. This is an intervention.
So, I just played through the first level. No issues whatsoever yet. Loading times are a thing. It's not as long as I thought it would be, as like some videos made it out to be. But
well, aren't the videos of the loading like, oh man, it's 15 seconds? Like, it's...
I mean,
it's 15 seconds, and it loads in one on a.
It felt like I was waiting like more like, well, again, this is just I was just the first level, but it felt like I was waiting more like 20 seconds.
That's fine.
But yeah, it's just weird to sit there and hear the music starting already, and it's like, oh, okay. But good morning, Source Gamers. Hi.
Good morning, Source Gaming.
I'm a cork in the ocean. Blasted me back like that image of the dinosaurs getting blown the fuck out that you see so often on Twitter. Oh man, I love that image.
That was a hilarious image.
Oh Lord. I guess we'll get to our favorite segment of Good Morning Source Gaming, the one that everyone just like, it's what they come here for. What have you been playing this week? I guess it'll be what you've been playing this last 2 weeks, because it's been a while.
Can I go first?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
I don't think I've played a video game in 2 weeks.
Jesus Christ! All right,
dude, I have zero time. I'm so overwhelmed at work. I have not even turned my Switch or Xbox on. My PC's just been for work.
I thought last week was your vacation week. You just took
last
siestas.
No, but I went out of town for that. So,
I'm not going to continue this bit.
Okay.
it just feels mean.
I guess on the drive to the Fort Myers area from the Miami area, I played my Switch and I played some Super Metroid briefly and some Smash Brothers. So very exciting stuff. Probably less than 4 hours total of playtime in the last 2 weeks.
Nice. Phantom.
Sure. God, these waffles are so good.
Oh, fuck! I'm so hungry right now.
I'm so sorry.
I've been on a liquid diet for the last 7 days, like a cleanse.
Oh my god!
Just juicing and just juice and broth, and occasionally a soup. So it's been fun. Been fun. Day 7.
Did your stomach hurt?
Not at all. The
I'm doing
opposite.
that?
No,
Okay,
you're.
that's good.
No,
It's actually.
he's just tired of wiping all the time.
It's actually
Yeah,
it's better. What you're doing actually, it's better for your stomach because you're giving your stomach a chance to rest. It's always digesting all of the crap that you put in there. So you're just like,
Sure.
take it easy, bud.
Someone in the chat really liked the Toho video. I will let the person who made it know. Okay.
Yeah, we'll tell Ozzy.
Thank you.
So for breakfast, I'm drinking a nice sweet corn and roasted poblano sipping soup.
I don't know what the hell you just said.
It's a corn soup. I'm drinking corn soup.
For
Okay,
breakfast,
you're
I'm having
just corn syrup.
for breakfast I'm having a very
No
nice
corn syrup.
helping of air.
Damn. I'm so sorry, you guys. I didn't mean to throw my waffles in your face. My bad.
I'm fine, man.
Well,
I'm
except for
actually
Spazzy's
very
good.
yeah. I'm very good with whatever. I'm very zen when it comes to food. I enjoy eating quite a bit, and I like nice food. But if I set my mind to eating a certain way for a certain determined set of time, I'm just like, that's it. This is my life now. This is what's going on.
I'm just waiting for my goddamn breakfast hero to come in.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Mm-hmm. But Phantom, what have you been playing?
All right, so it's actually been quite a while since I've been on Good Morning Sports Gaming.
Yeah.
So I've been playing a lot of stuff since then. But Guilty Gear Strive came out in like June? Was that July or June? I think it was. Actually, no, I think it was June, like the second week of June. And I've been playing that on PC, and I have already I think 120 hours in that. It's a absolutely great fighting game. While the lobbies have some issues, the actual net code is and the actual quality of that all the matches is 90% really good. I'm barely having matches with lag or constant lagging in comparison to so many other fighting games that I've played. Really fun. Definitely play it if you've never played a Guilty game before. I'd say definitely that's the one to play because it has everybody's playing it right now, and then also it's very welcoming to beginners with the mission mode and stuff like that. Then aside from that, Pokemon Unite also came out, and I've been playing that with friends a lot as well. I think it might actually be a kind of an online game that I actually stick to because I love PSO2, but I kind of just forgot that it exists as well, and I haven't been playing it. What else came out? This didn't come out, but I did play it because last year I bought it, and I never actually got through playing it, but I played it because the new games demo was really good. The World Ends With You. I was at my aunt's house for a while because one of my little brothers had gotten COVID, so I was just staying at home. I was staying at my aunt's house in the meantime because I couldn't go back home for a week or something like that until they were done with their quarantine. And during that time, I had my 3DS with me, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna play through The World Ends With You, and it's actually one of the best. I mean, granted, I didn't play a lot of DS games because I mostly just played Pokemon and then Mario Party DS and and that. But that's actually one of the best DS games that I've ever played. I was genuinely surprised at how much I enjoyed it. It was not what I thought it would be.
Why would you be genuinely surprised? It's literally any one of us that you've talked to about that has said, "Yeah, no, that game's fantastic."
So when I say that, I mean
you just not believe us.
Well, what I always expected from the story is not what I actually got. The story that I thought that it was going, the path that I thought it was going to take in its story, while some plot points were did meet up to what I was expecting, how the development of characters would go and how how important certain characters would be, and how I didn't even know that it was a week. It goes by weeks. Because when I was playing it, I was like, oh, we're already at day 6. I guess the game's gonna plot dump and then it's gonna be over. And then it's okay, here's week 2, day 1. I was like, oh, okay, this game is gonna be for a while. Okay, so and then I just blazed through it, and it was incredibly fun. So while I do have Neo as well, and that game is really fun as well. But I've actually been taking a break from it so that I could focus on other things. So because I still have to do the Disgaea 6 review, which I've been really worried about doing and haven't been sure how to do it because I have very iffy feelings on that game. And it's very weird when a game that you're looking forward to and a series that you really love comes up with a title that doesn't really feel like uh it's it like the core mechanics are there, but a lot of like the I guess like the coat the paint that it's in or being the way that it's being painted this time around just feels very uh not like anything ever before. So I'm gonna be working on the review for that now. And then aside from that, I've been playing No More Heroes. No More Heroes 1. I've been playing that because I never played all the games, even though I own them. And I didn't own 1 and 2 before on Wii. I actually got them like a few months ago. But No More Heroes 3 came out, and I was like, hell yeah, I'm gonna play No More Heroes 3. So I'm actually starting to play No More Heroes 1. Having a lot of fun. The A Shadow has been watching me play it in the in Skilled Crom server. So it's actually been really fun. Or well, Creek says they go by now. So
You got a copy of No More Heroes 2 for the Wii?
yeah, it came with the
Oh,
Wii U
it's
stuff
gone
that I
down in
got.
price. It was like $70 when I last checked.
Well, I think Book Off had it for like
Really?
$30.
Man, maybe
No
I
More
should
Heroes
sell a bunch of
2.
my games.
No More Heroes 2 did not perform well, but I guess because the Switch port came out, it's being dropped to like 30, $40 now.
I went to
There's
the
also
gamer
the
store
think
yesterday and they had a copy of the PS3 version of No More Heroes for like $45.
oh, did you like
Oh
it?
my
I
god.
didn't pick it up because I'm not spending $45 on the PS3 version of No More
It's the
Heroes.
worst version of No More Heroes.
I think they have. I think my copy of No More Heroes 2 is for the Wii is sealed. Is that worth the money?
Oh my god.
Apparently,
Perhaps.
Probably.
Yeah, definitely. I was looking at the shopping tab
not
on
playing
Google and
games
it's
for the last.
$100.
Not playing games for the last 20 years. Just buying them is really starting to pay off.
Bro, you can get it graded and then you can
Not
like
having time.
completely fuck the market.
I have a sealed copy of Super Metroid somewhere where I'm
I
like,
know.
this should not be
What?
worth. This should not be fucking worth anything, but I'm sure. You know what? I did play something this last week. I played
my God.
Streets of Rage 4.
That's
I,
a good
I,
game.
I'd never really played through it, so I played through it a couple times to unlock a bunch of shit. So that game is fun.
Music's good.
It is. Everything in that game's good. That like Sega, and this will be a great segue for a little bit later. So I should probably save it. But Sega, has been doing a great job with outsourcing and their retro franchises and having people remake, remaster, do sequels to them.
Yeah.
But they haven't had apparently much luck outsourcing Sonic. Anyways,
Speaking
Oh,
of
boy.
outsourcing to really talented studios, I've been playing the new.
oh, we should.
Okay.
What, dude? We should do outsourcing source gaming one day and just have a bunch of guests on and none of us just.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of random people.
Yeah.
Sorry. No. I've been playing the Quake remaster that came out, which it's been doing really well. Apparently, I don't know. The last time I checked the eShop, it was actually at like #1 in the bestsellers, which is crazy for like a $10 re-release of an id Software shooter that came out like 4 weeks ago now or whatever. Is it still doing really good?
Is the game fun?
Oh,
I mean,
it's not in like the top 5 anymore, but it's in the top 10. It's in #7. It's selling more than No More Heroes 3.
Damn.
No, it's just super surreal to see like Quake like placing higher than like Among Us.
Quake isn't $60 too.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, I've been playing that. I was really looking forward to that just being announced in the first place. It seems like Bethesda's on like a big kick of re-releasing a lot of the older id Software stuff because they I guess they don't want to have to deal with people going, "What's a DOS box?" So they're just doing like really nice new releases of it, and they also released it on consoles at the same time, and it's really, really fucking good. It's really good. Subsequently, around the same time, about a week later, they released the DLC for Doom Eternal, the other one, the Ancient Gods Part 2 on Switch. And that is not so good. It's not so good.
I need to finish Doom. I need to finish.
Jesus
Doom
Christ,
Eternal.
yes you do.
So what's wrong with it?
So the best way I can put this
Mhm.
is that Doom Eternal has a fan base that is very, very akin to like the peak Dark Souls days fan base.
Mhm.
Because the one thing about Doom Eternal that a lot of people pointed out when the game came out was, wow, this is challenging. And I'm not gonna say like Doom Eternal is easy, but like it's very forgiving. Like the game is tough because like Doom Guy is overpowered in Doom Eternal. He has a lot of things at his disposal, and you are just a walking mammoth in that game. And there's this whole gosh darn thing where for some reason all of a sudden the focus became like, like this game isn't for the weak, this game is for only the strongest of gamers, the realist hardcore babadooks.
You can't handle my game. It is only
Yeah.
for the strongest.
Yeah, this game with 5 different difficulty levels, it's only for true gamers. So when it came time to do the DLC, it seems like they just wanted to make the DLC for that group as opposed to just making more Doom Eternal. And I guess the best way
That seems very against how Doom has always been. Like as much as Doom has been something that appeals to core gamers and has always been a very difficult franchise.
yeah.
I feel like from the very beginning it had all sorts of cheat codes and all sorts of mods and all sorts, like it was always meant to be accessible. Do you know what I mean?
On one hand, it feels like they're just trying to replicate Plutonia, which is a expansion. Let's say expansion, quote unquote, but it's like a
Or Doom 2.
yeah, it's like a spin-off of Doom 2 basically. And Plutonia is like famously very hard. But also like Plutonia's made in mind with the idea that, you know, like one of the great things about Doom is that it plays in such a specific way that, you know, like if you've played enough Doom, like Plutonia it's still challenging, but like you know how to get through it, you know all the tips and tricks. And Doom Eternal is kind of the same way, but I feel like the way I've been describing the DLC to people is like, it's like when you get really into a multiplayer game and then they just like over the years they keep doing content updates for it to the point where like if you return to it at any point in the future, you're like, oh, this is different. Like the meta and the balance has changed. I won't go too much into it here because A, boring. B, I'll just, you know, I got to do a written review of it sometime in the future, and I'll talk about all my issues there. But yeah, it's not. It doesn't really like. Part 1 was just really fucking annoying because it was just so much like, here's a new enemy that has a Zelda fuck me spot you gotta shoot, and then you gotta use a special weapon to kill it, and you're like, that's like a big issue that people had with Doom Eternal that I personally do not agree with is people that were saying that, oh, you had to Doom Eternal forces you to play one specific way, which is not true. Just Doom Eternal has rules. It's a character action game. Like it has rules the game abides by for you to continue. But the Doom Eternal DLC definitely feels like it's funneling you into one exact way of playing, and if you even try to experiment outside of that, you'll just fucking die a lot. Don't feel too good. Don't feel too good.
I love the Zelda fuck me spots.
Yeah. Speaking of Zelda, just kidding. Moving on to Sonic. Also, I'm gonna go get my sandwich.
Wait.
You guys talk.
Hold on.
What?
I haven't even spoken yet.
Oh,
Fuck.
I thought you did.
No.
Oh, fuck. All right, I'm gonna go get my sandwich.
So it's been a while since I've been on one of these, and in that time, I have played at least 2 games, to completion. I played through all of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, which, for those unaware, Colin and I did a playthrough where we live dubbed the game way back when the fan translation was just coming out. And we got halfway through the 4th case, and then we stopped for various reasons. It is so good to be able to play the whole game. Herlock Sholmes is one of the best characters I've ever experienced in anything. He is a delight. He's such an eccentric character, and a surprisingly complex one too. You wouldn't expect it from the way he is introduced. Oh my god. It's so nice to play a good Ace Attorney game again. The Great Ace Attorney 1 and 2 are the best games in the series. Like, I don't even hesitate saying that. They are incredible. And if you have been on the fence because Phoenix Wright's not in it, no. Play these games. They're great. They blew me away, especially the second game. The second game is one of the most enthralling experiences I've had in a while. Yes.
So here's my secret. I've never actually played an Ace Attorney game.
Mm-hmm.
Would this be a place to start?
Yes, there is no connection to prior games.
Okay, cool.
They're completely standalone experiences. If you haven't played an Ace Attorney game in the past, but you like mystery stories, Great Ace Attorney is great for that. Like solving mysteries. Good game. Good game.
Ooh, I came back during Great Ace Attorney talk. Ooh.
Yeah. The soundtrack also
Banger.
Floored me.
Absolute banger. Yeah.
It's so good. Have you been playing it?
I started up 1 again. I was just like, you know what? Fuck it. Like, even though we blasted through, again, I guess most of 1. Like, we
got to halfway through 4, yeah.
Yeah. 4. Like but I was like, you know what? They did a new translation. I might as well like experience the whole thing from the get-go. But I got pulled aside to do like reviews of like Foreclosed and stuff. But now I'm really feeling it. So I think that this is the week, gamers. That
oh boy, I have somebody I can talk to about the entirety of Great Ace Attorney soon. Great,
hell yeah. Because
the fan translation was good. It was very good. But the official translation has a lot. It's a lot more natural.
Yeah.
Although there are some problems I have with it. For some reason, they rearranged the Japanese names for the 3 main characters from Japan, but they didn't do it for the person who is literally a real human being.
Oh, what the fuck? Oh, so like...
So Seki Natsumi is Soseki Natsumi instead of Natsumi Soseki. It's weird.
Huh.
Isn't that, you mean the author, or is that...
Yeah, he's in the game.
Yeah. Yeah, because that like, oh man, I mean, I said this back when we were streaming it, however many fucking years ago. That I mean, Great Ace Attorney 1 is like, it's like, it made me feel the same way that I felt when I first played the first Ace Attorney.
Yeah.
just in the way of like, holy shit, like this is like it's a new experience.
Yo, this is incredible.
Yeah, I'm like, it's just like they just pulled this shit together really well.
Especially the joint investigation sequences, the dances of deduction, as they've officially called them, with
Hell
Herlock
yeah.
Sholmes. Like
Hell
those
yeah.
are they are filled with so much frenetic energy that has been missing from Ace Attorney since the beginning. Actually,
Yeah, that's the thing that because it came out at the end of July, and like
Mhm.
my timeline was just full of people, and it was like it was really great seeing people pick up on like all these little details that we also had picked up on during our playthrough, and we're also like, oh my god, his eyes are like bugging out and they're like twitching side to side. It's so good. Like,
it's great. Oh yeah, this game like looks amazing. It's not
Yeah.
cel shaded. It's not cel shaded. Everything is painted on and precisely like manufactured, or well, precisely illustrated,
yeah,
I should say. And it is such a cleaner look than the kind of haphazard cel shading of Dual Destinies and Spirit of Justice. It looks
Absolutely.
incredible.
yeah. Actually, the one thing that's gotten me really excited to play it is that it comes with 2,
Mhm,
and
mhm.
everyone has told me that 2 is better.
Oh my
which
god,
is like-
2. Case 3 onwards with 2 is the best Ace Attorney has ever gotten. It is
Yeah, that's what I've
phenomenal.
been hearing, and I'm like, I'm stoked. So I will
I've been-
for sure get to that soon.
even though I finished the game, I've been revisiting like specific sections from the final case because you can just like scene select, which is a
Yeah.
great feature. So I've been revisiting specific portions of that final case that I really enjoy and doing them again, and it's still like engaging me exactly as much as when I played it the first time.
That game has like a DVD menu chapter select. It's great.
Mhm.
Like it's
Yes.
it's so good.
It's I can't recommend it enough. I'm gonna be trying to do a video on it, why you should play the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. It'll just be like a quick 5-minute video where I just talk about stuff. I don't want to do a review because I'm
Too
in
clinical.
too deep with one of them already.
Yeah,
And I just really want to
you just want to gush
talk about a
it.
game I love.
Yeah, you just want to
and
gush
also
about it.
get people to like be interested in it.
I remember, God, you talking about the soundtrack. The soundtracks are so fucking good. Like,
Mhm.
man, like, because the soundtracks for both games were all because both games were already out in Japan by the time
Yes.
the fan translation of the first game was even being worked on, and I just remember like putting on that soundtrack, just as like a haha, we got to play some music before the stream starts, but
Mhm.
it's like, oh my god, like, so much of
Um,
it was just so good.
The main theme of the second game, which I do not recommend listening to before the second game because it's used so well that you should experience it in the game for the first time. But the main theme of the second game, Partners, the game is afoot, is like, oh, I've been listening to it for weeks.
I wonder if they'll release it over here. The soundtrack.
I would like that. I would
Because
buy it in a heartbeat.
The trilogy soundtrack is on Steam.
Hmm.
I
I would buy it in a heartbeat. Especially if it was
is!
physical, I would buy it.
Well, right now on Steam, they have the Great Ace Attorney Adventures Grand Performance Recording, which is a mouthful, but it is.
That must be different. Then
It's
are those like special tracks?
It's the soundtracks to both games. Like,
okay,
without a doubt.
Got it.
And it's in FLAC. Ooh, it's in lossless.
Oh boy.
We here, I'll just DM it to you. Because I opened it up and some of the tracks match the soundtracks I have of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean they are calling it the soundtrack of the Great Ace Attorney Adventures, so that would do it. It's some good art. That cover art is so fucking good.
Yes, this is just the first game soundtrack. Yes.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh man. Oh, the second one is a separate listing. That's why.
Yeah, that would be
Yep.
very cool though.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm gonna give Capcom all my fucking dollary dues for
other
finally
than
doing
that,
this.
I've been playing through Ys 8. Well, I finished Ys 8. Ys is like the progenitor of the action RPG genre,
Listen,
and
I don't play Yeast. I don't play Yeast games unless you can only attack enemies by running directly into them.
so they eventually got rid of the system where you only run into enemies to do damage.
So, just a little history lesson, kids. So, before Zelda, I feel like Zelda was really the game that kind of codified how, even though Zelda is an adventure game and not an RPG, so don't start with me. But how kind of action in these type of fantasy games and eventually action RPGs would be, where you hit a button and you swing a sword.
Yes.
But in the early days, in the early to mid to late 80s, and with Ace even longer, they were playing with different ways that attacks could work. And one of them was, well, if somebody's in front of you and you're facing them, and then you hit them, and they're not facing you, then you're going to do damage to them.
Yeah.
So it's literally just running into
walk
enemies.
into them.
Yeah, and it was an entire kind of play style within the genre. Like, it wasn't just East; it was just like a whole bunch of games did it. But since the East series was so successful, they managed to carry it on a little bit longer before they said, "No, we're just going to play like a regular game."
Yeah, they got to
Carry
Ys
on, I'm sorry.
6, I think, and then they changed Ys. They changed it somewhere along the line. I don't remember which one exactly. I want to say it's 5, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, they changed it to be more like Xanadu, Faxanadu, like
Yeah.
side scrolling at first. And then, they like that franchise. It's an interesting franchise because it's gone through a long.
Oh,
Oh,
Oh, also you died. It wasn't just me. Okay.
Chazzy? Oh no. What came first? Ys or Hydlide?
I'm pretty sure Hydlide came first because that's on
Yeah,
like,
Hydlide
computers.
wasn't Hydlide pre-Zelda too?
Yeah, it came out
Yeah.
on like
Ys
really
is
early Japanese
1987.
yeah. There you go.
Um,
I own Ys 1 and 2 on the Turbo graphics.
Welcome back.
hello?
Am I back?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
But yeah,
My internet is my router.
your internet's on the fritz?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Welcome to Hydlide.
The Ys games now are like combo-based action games, which you don't have a lot of techniques at your disposal, per se. Like, you don't have like long combo strings. You just have one combo and a bunch of special abilities. But it is engaging enough to keep my attention, where other games that are less actiony and like lie in the middle of turn-based in action do not. Xenoblade. So I played through it from start to finish. Ys 8, and I really, really enjoyed it. It was a very engaging experience. I just bought the soundtrack to it. The soundtrack is the best part of the game, and it's very, very good. It's got some hot tunes. I heard the Switch
love hot
version of
tunes.
Ys
Those are
8
my
is
favorite tunes.
good. So if you have a Switch and you're looking for an action RPG experience, because they're never going to bring over Kingdom Hearts, Ys is
You're
good.
right.
I've heard the Ys games are janky and like performance wise kind of hit or miss on on every platform. So
No.
like you're getting okay.
No. Ys 9, Ys 8, they run well.
Okay.
Ys 9 does not run well on Switch, though.
Okay.
Ys 8 does, because it's a Vita game.
Oh, that'll do it.
But yeah, I do recommend giving Ys a look, especially if it's on sale. Because I got Ys 8 and the remake of 4 for pretty cheap. and they do go on sale quite often. Switch version of everything except for 9 is good.
Video
Okay.
games.
So
Wow.
there goes my video game discussion.
Hell yeah, and I got my big old sandwich
Oh.
and my big old coffee.
Yeah, yes, chat. Travis Strikes Again is also good. It might be better than a lot of Suda games, to be honest. Well, not Suda games. It's better than a lot of Grasshopper games. It's one of the better ones in like the developer's repertoire.
Hell
I keep
yeah.
thinking about downloading the Final Fantasy pixel remasters, but then I keep thinking that I own those games a bunch of other ways that are probably better and won't cost me almost $20.
I heard the new versions are good. I watched somebody play through the pixel remaster of Final Fantasy II for some fucking reason.
Yeah, the thing
Yes.
about Final Fantasy II is that it is unequivocal. Like it's just the worst. It's like
It is bad.
It's not a good game,
But it is
like, and not
funny
like
bad.
not like how I say like Final Fantasy VIII is awful, and people can fight me about that, whatever. But
Hold on.
I'm just gonna say that.
I just got sent this Venn diagram of Link, Legend of Zelda, and the American opossum.
All right.
It's pretty funny.
I think you cut me off from saying how terrible I think Final Fantasy VIII is because the plot is trash.
Oh, Final
right,
Fantasy
Spoonie.
VIII is my favorite wife killing simulator.
It's so stupid. And then on top of that,
the man trains an entire school to go kill his wife.
spoilers. And then
Yeah, and they play
it's like
triple
a
triad.
telenovela plot where at the end everybody grew up together and knows each other. It's so stupid. And on top of that, the way the mechanics are in that game, it's broken. Like you can break it so easily and just face roll everything if you know what you're doing. It's like I don't like Final Fantasy VIII. That being said, Final Fantasy II is just the worst. Like everything about Final Fantasy II is bad. It was like them learning. It was them making mistakes. Like, which is funny because you could play the first like 5-6 Dragon Quest games and all of them you're like great, but when you're playing through Final Fantasy, I feel like you get to 2 and you're all like, what are they doing? You level up your attacks and spells by using them. Like they were just trying to do their own thing and it didn't really work. Anyways, sorry.
Yeah, there was a lot of
is my voice
experimentation with
working?
RPGs. Your voice is
At the
good.
time, yeah.
There's a lot of experimentation with RPGs at the time, and they didn't really settle into a groove where they felt comfortable repeating the same formula over and over for a lot of franchises.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think they wanted to differentiate
Final Fantasy
themselves
got
from
an
Dragon
overhaul.
Quest,
Yeah.
and then they said,
Go ahead.
yeah.
Yeah. They did
Not to-
differentiate themselves from Dragon Quest, which is hilarious because now they're under the same roof.
Yep.
But yeah, Final Fantasy experimented, Ys experimented, Dragon Quest is now experimenting. Oh god, it's not even over yet.
Mm-hmm. Pokemon
Pokemon is also experimenting. If the experiment doesn't pay off, they'll just go back to normal.
Yeah, I doubt it. I mean, it's definitely gonna pay off in terms of sales, though. But
Here you go.
It depends on critical reception.
critical.
Critical and player reception. They will make money,
I'm
but
doing
they
this-
did
doing
cancel
this
any
test from
plans.
internet.
Oh yeah.
My download speed is 1.2 megabytes per second. That
What
can't.
the-
Oh no,
Everyone's
That's
having
not
internet
good.
problems.
not me.
I'm gonna jump right back. I'm gonna go reset my router.
Okay.
Understandable. Okay.
I put the Venn diagram on screen.
Yo, there it is. Screams needs like 18 hours of sleep. I think they're cute, and anyone who says otherwise is wrong. Popular with the LGBT community and feral.
It do be true. It do be true.
I like that image of an opossum with a toothbrush.
Yeah.
For some reason, when I saw that image, I thought like he was adjusting his brow with a toothbrush. It's adorable.
No, I think it's just for like scritchy scratches.
Ooh,
Like how-
switchy.
It's like how people use the toothbrush to like I guess, pet their cat. Like, because it just like it's like abrasive, but in like a good way,
Mhm.
kind of thing. Yeah,
It's a good image.
it's
I
a good
like
image. Yeah, it's a good Venn diagram. It's a graph we all can agree on.
it.
we can all agree with.
Yes.
Good lord. Oh, should I talk about what happened this week?
What happened this week?
Sure.
Should I talk
Right.
about before we get to Sonic? Can we talk about me accidentally starting the gamer Twitter discourse like 2 days in a row?
Oh boy. Yeah,
Oh,
go
yeah,
ahead.
right.
I feel like I should talk about this because even though listen, we've bitched about limited run games plenty of times on this show, and almost to a fetishistic degree. Not that I, get my fucking rocks off making fun of limited run games.
That's a lie.
I don't believe you.
But sometimes they just do something that do be bad, and I wanna bitch about it. Anywho, so one of the I'm trying to say this in a way because I don't want to.
They did a Bethesda.
Yeah, I don't want to drag attention to the original poster because they've been going through hell over this, and
Basically, they silently changed the contents of a game order.
Yeah, there was
without informing the customer.
There was a game that they sold. They did their little thing where they sell it for $80 in a big box set, and it was supposed to come with a physical copy, and then they finally shipped it out. Many moons later, as they do, and people got their copies in the mail, and then they swapped out the physical copy with a Steam code,
Right.
which
why would you even buy something from limited run games if it's just a fucking Steam code?
Yeah. And the person who initially reported this, who had this issue, they tried to contact their customer support. I guess Limited Run's customer support is like separate from the actual people who like run the company, like they outsource it or something. So they were like, "Oh, well, we can give you like a $10 discount."
Or you could return the whole thing,
which is
yeah.
not, I retweeted it. I quote retweeted it. I gave it a signal boost because I was just like, man, they advertised and sold the thing, and then they changed said thing in production without telling anybody, and that's rough. That's no good. The official response was, the unfortunate reality was that with only 60 copies sold, which, by the way, that number keeps changing, but from what I understand, around 60 to 80 copies were sold of this like box set. The time and cost to develop the DRM-free build far outweighed any potential benefit and would have hurt the IP more than anything. I don't even want to.
I'm sorry. DRM free.
Yeah, I don't want to go into the part of the discussion that how does it cost money to do a DRM free build when like Steam DRM is literally just like what a DLL file. Like it's not like how. Not going into that. The idea is that apparently they just. They didn't sell a lot of copies of it, so they just decided to swap out the physical copy, the physical disc, with a Steam code. Interestingly enough, the box that it came with was clearly for the Switch version because it didn't have a cutout for a jewel case. It had a cutout for a Switch case, but there's nothing in it.
Okay.
Just the Steam code.
Yeah, just the Steam code. It's actually kind of fucked. They couldn't make the jewel case and then put a Steam code in it. Like, they still couldn't make the actual case for the game. They just put a piece of paper in the thing. That's really weird to me. But
well, that would have cost more money for them.
Yeah.
They probably had some Switch ones laying around.
But apparently they intended to send out emails to customers ahead of time, and they just didn't, which I think is very funny. Because I feel like if I was in that position, I wouldn't have just been like, oh yeah, shoot out an email. I would have shot out like 3 emails and a tweet. Maybe a messenger pigeon, like get the word out there.
They did not tweet about it on like the official account.
No, they didn't. In fact,
on the owners' accounts.
I asked why they didn't tweet it out on the official LRG page, and they were like, "Well, all of our followers don't need to know about.
We don't want to bring attention to it."
Yeah, which is like,
they were really shitty and downplaying everything you said.
Yeah, they did say they were offering full refunds for it, which is good. That's a way to own up to it. So that was all fun and dandy. It's like I already have so many questions regarding that shit anyway. Like, sure, it sold a low amount of copies, but they are a company with a niche audience that sells niche collectibles. Like, isn't it kind of fucky that they have to like even regardless of how many people actually bought the set, like they should still, like, for sure, if they're selling these things like pre-order wise up front full price and they're making them for a niche collecting market, they should absolutely be delivering on what they're advertising, because that's their whole fucking market.
So I have a question about that.
Yeah.
So they're all like, it's made to order, right?
No, well, they're probably not made to order. Like, I'm sure Limited Run just has a regular old production line. Right. Like they have manufacturers in whatever fucking country to do this stuff. But yeah, like I feel like this is a situation where even if, even if they're not able to say get like enough copies sold, because I'm sure that's the idea, is that they weren't able to get enough copies sold that they could do like a run, like just have like some production house somewhere actually make the jewel cases and the CDs.
Yeah, it's almost like they needed a limited run for this particular game because it was so.
But I feel like if it is a low order, like then you should just make them anyway. Like make them yourself. Print the fucking label.
Bite the bullet, man. Yeah,
like seriously. This is literally
bite
like
the bullet for the greater good of your brand.
Yeah,
like sometimes you take a loss in order to
Your company is like literally uses shit like forever physical and like physical is the future and all this stupid fucking taglines and they they still and it's like, isn't the point of them getting the publishing rights and selling these box sets in advance, isn't the whole point to get like the contents of the box squared away ahead of time? Like, isn't this the reason why their whole model works? And it sucks because like of course there's going to be some people that say like, oh well, you don't know anything about business, and like, sure, I don't, but like, you should explain that. Like you should explain how that happens, because what was it? Yeah, they just said like, well, sometimes plans can change, and it's like, what the fuck? What? I don't know. But yeah, they announced that, like, all that shit aside, all of that's already kind of bad. It to a degree where it feels kind of petty because they owned up to it, I guess, and they started offering full refunds, but that already sucks. And then hours later, I want to say like 6 or 7 hours after this whole thread happened, one of the co-owners of the website started harassing the original poster to delete their tweets.
It's like, oh,
And
we're fixing the situation. Can you like delete the tweets? No, because like we're fixing it now. People are gonna see it, and then they're probably
yeah,
not
let
gonna see
me
that.
let me
Oh,
read off
we're
some of
fixing the
these because
situation.
these are like, I'm not trying to concern troll, like these are really bad. If you haven't seen it, we've decided to give everyone full refunds, and they get to keep the box. Your tweets are bringing a pretty steady stream of hate and harassment our way from folks who didn't even buy the box. I know the anger is absolutely justified from you, but I'd really, genuinely, and sincerely appreciate it if you could help close that stream of harassment off. I'm sorry again that this mistake happened. We appreciate you. Next string of tweets. I don't blame you. I blame the people who've quote tweeted your tweet and surrounded it with false context and harassment directed at us. If you delete your tweets, their quote tweets become meaningless, and the attention goes away for you, and the harassment goes away for us. We're not out to screw people over. We want to do right by you. Dude, I told you
Their
I was
entire business model
Yeah.
is fucked.
Dude, I
Whatever.
told you I was
Okay.
working on the jewel case yesterday, and instead of waiting for me to follow through, today happened, and harassment has been raining down on us left and right. If all you cared about was the jewel case, why not respond me, oh, that's a typo, to my tweet from yesterday, where I said I was working on it and asked if it was still happening. Today has been hell, and the longer your tweets remain up, they're just going to continue to bring harassment our way. And then, eventually, OP decided to protect their account because, you know, this sucks. And they and the next two tweets are, I'm sorry you're going through this. It makes an already bad situation worse. I don't expect you to fully trust me. I'm going to ensure you a jewel case. So you've blocked me. Great. This is why I often feel like I can't win. We sincerely try to do right by folks and it ends up like this. What the fuck is this guy?
So,
What the fuck is this chud? Like, what is he doing?
I think the funny thing about it is that like he's like at the same time saying, "Hey, I don't blame you. I blame the people that are quote retweeting. Also, can you get rid of these tweets so like because like they're like what like you're also inadvertently saying or like pretty much directly saying that hey, you having these tweets up also like causes harassment, but so now you're like blaming that person." And then instead of just blaming the quote retweets, people who are harassing you.
First off, grow the fuck up. like that's just my first response is just grow the fuck up. You're a grown ass man. You own and run a company. Like, companies are not your friends. Like, stop. Like your end of the bargain is done. Like you owned up to it. You started offering refunds. Just any residual. I stopped getting notifications on my tweet like by the time that shit happened. So it's like, you know, just shut up and move on. But no. You have to go, not even in DMs on fucking public Twitter where anyone can fucking see this shit. It's like, what are you doing? And, the fucking guilt tripping, like, please, we'll give you the jewel case, just please delete your tweets, come on, like, just, you know, we'll give you everything you want, just please delete those gosh darn tweets. It's like, ugh, it doesn't sit right. It feels so, like, gross. It feels weird. Like, man, like, god damn, the fucking, like, the initial situation is already bad, but this is so much worse. like somehow just by fucking hounding this fucking guy, like, they just, luckily it seemed to have, I think they learned their lesson, because they there was no replies to any of that, and also the guy deleted all of those tweets.
Aww.
But Jesus, it's just so
It's crazy.
so bad. Have y'all got anything to say about it?
I think like because here's the thing, like I get like how people always say like you're a company and stuff like that. Like most people, at least to be fair, like there's also like I guess not to be fair, but like at least being like fully like honest with it, they're a independent independent company, a small company. The owners are directly on Twitter like as well, like actively like in like I guess
I think
incongruent.
companies like that.
Yeah.
I think companies like that need to have a PR person and need to not have the owners on social media defending everything.
yeah,
It never
That's
looks good for them.
the thing is that like I I can agree with that to some extent because like of course like the owners of course if the owners are gonna be like if the owners want to use social media they can also use social media, but like the thing is that they use the owners because I think there's the owner, the other owner, and then somebody who is a co-owner who's they're like of Limited Run Games. They're all on Twitter. I'm pretty sure there's probably like other people that work at Limited Run Games that are probably also on Twitter. And it's like I can understand if like what was it if you also use Twitter on your own, but then also if you like have like your own personal account that you also like talk about like kind of like your job as well because like what was it there's the what was it? I don't remember her name, but I think she's like a manager at Sega, and she like helped with like get the Sonic Symphony together. And when Sonic Colors Ultimate came out, like early release, she was like, "Hey, Sonic Colors Ultimate came out. If you have any problems, just let us know," stuff like that. So like, there's definitely like, and granted, that's like a way more bigger company. So it's like there's definitely people already that have like even from like some companies where it's like, hey, they have their account. But I think the problem is that like, well, I'm not sure if it's a problem. Whether or not, but like the part of the thing is that because they're like a smaller company, the owners are on social media as well, and then like the owners as well are also like directly providing support for all the people that like if people have issues. So like if people have issues, they directly talk to them. Like they can either talk to Limited Run Games specifically and receive a reply, or if they're following the owners and they do want to give and they tweet at the owner, then they also get a reply there. So it's like there's two like paths of support that you get from trying to get to Limited Run Games. So with that, I kind of like I understand like where people like the old saying I guess we call it like companies aren't people, but it's like there's people behind the companies. Granted, the way he acted was still like, geez, dude, chill out.
But that's the problem is it's not me saying like we should be able to throw anything at the people behind these companies. Like, no, I'm of course not for fucking harassing these people. Like, I don't want to do that, and that's not what me. Someone did say, some fucking Limited Run fanboy was saying that I was harassing them, which is a fucking joke because all I was doing was sharing tweets that they made publicly.
Yeah.
Of their actual like them targeting a fucking customer of theirs and repeatedly hounding them with tweets over and over again to get them to, silence them. That's harassment. But the issue is more so that like you don't have to throw this fucking pity party bullshit. Like this is not like no one's out to end Limited Run. Like
I am. It's my agenda. Sorry.
But it's like, what Audoodle says. If a person takes your money, they have a responsibility. Like, exactly. Like, there was no fucking reason why he should have felt the need to have to go after the original poster and been like, oh, can you delete these tweets? This really sucks. Like, just having any sort of criticism or bad publicity just pointed at us is like, oh, it really hurts. And it's because they put on this weird, like, oh, we're just a mom and pop business. We're just, a couple of guys, and they aren't. They aren't.
The gamers. We're for the gamers, is what we are. We're for preservation and history, and for you guys, and
by
and
collectors for collectors. Yeah. Even though they're selling a Bethesda game, it's like, fuck off. You're lying.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of their business model or the way they present themselves.
I kind of said this on Twitter. Actually, there was one guy who quote retweeted me, and he said like, he's like the thing about Limited Run is they think that everyone who hates them thinks that they're evil, and it's like no one thinks they're actually evil. We just think they're like person. we just think they're wholly incompetent and like they are really bad at presenting themselves.
They owe it to their
I-
customers to do better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They should
Yeah,
stop
and
trying to be like, "Yo, we're your friend." It's like, no, you're not a friend. You're a guy who wants.
I also feel their
money.
entire business model is symptomatic of what is wrong with the collector's market in gaming.
Yeah,
That
it
kind of
absolutely
rubs me
is.
personally the wrong way, but nothing against them personally. It's just, you know. But the other thing is they're very clearly taking advantage of that. It's very, you know, we're a business and that's fine and we're making money doing this. I mean, great, hooray capitalism. But like don't pretend that like you're doing this great service to all of gaming. You're
Yeah.
a company. This very clearly demonstrates that. There's like, listen, we would have lost money doing this. It would have been worse for the game, he said at some point, or whatever.
Oh yeah, he said like if they had actually gone through with making the physical copies, it would have potentially hurt the IP. What the fuck does that mean? Like what's... Oh no, if we had actually spent money to deliver the product that you paid upfront full price for in advance, like that could have...
Does he mean that they would have to create more copies so more copies would exist and not be sold, so therefore it would be worthless?
I was going to say, that seems
know.
like the other obvious answer is to just, like, you know, break the whole limited run thing and just make, you know... I mean, what, like, I gotta wonder, what are, like, what is, like, the arbitrary deadline that a game has to sell before it's, like, worth making a production run of? Like, is it like 100? Is it 2,000? Like, what the fuck is it? Because they're selling some really niche games on limited run. Like, they can't possibly think like all of like every single game they sell is gonna sell like Scott Pilgrim numbers. That seems utterly ridiculous.
So, that's why I was asking earlier, was it like made to order? Because the weird thing about it is the fact that you would think that at least for like any other publisher, of course they're gonna like make the game, make copies of the game before it goes on sale. But they do like a pre-order thing where it's like, hey, pre-order the game now. The game already exists, but pre-order it. We have this amount of stock where we're selling it until either this time frame or until, you know, everything is sold out. The pre-orders are all sold out. And then, of course, they go make it, because that's exactly why it takes so long for the games to like get shipped out. Like 7 months to like a year plus or something like that. I've never ordered.
Yeah,
like,
this is one of those situations where like it feels like it would have all like because the way Limited Run used to do their business is like they started by selling like 5,000 copies of like Vita games. Like they would make 5,000 copies of a Vita game and then just be like, yeah, you pre-order it and you get it. And it's like I don't know. It's like, how many did they expect to sell? Like it's so weird to me that a company based around making like niche products for a niche audience has this issue. It seems like they shouldn't. And the issue is not like, oh, they don't sell enough to make a deadline, even though that's weird on its own. But it's just like how they don't have like a backup plan for that. Like how, like their company laurels, like their motto and everything, they hold up to the highest standard until it's just like, oh, it didn't sell as much, and then we just do a digital thing, because like that's why people fucking buy from these guys.
Yeah. It's also they're doing like what a digital limited release once announced for like Among Us. It's like they never ordered like a physical of it. It was just like, hey, here's a soundtrack. I think with like also like maybe like developer commentary or something like that.
Yeah.
And then all the rest of it was like other like nice little like trinkets and stuff like that, like the emergency button. But then it's like a digital game, and then literally like what 4 months later, an actual Among Us physical for all platforms. You know, it's very strange. And like, granted, that's a one-off thing. But like
limited Run also does deals with like Best Buy, and they also do deals with like retro game stores and stuff. Like, it's really weird, the idea that it's like they also couldn't just think of like making more copies than were pre-ordered and just just shipping those off to stores or just selling
Yeah,
them.
it's not
Like,
it's not the
it-
80s and 90s. You don't have to worry about distribution models. There's the fucking
Yeah.
internet.
Like, I really don't, like, I don't get the issue. I'm sure they've crunched the numbers and figured out like that it actually wasn't viable to do that. But like, not everyone is a fucking CPA. So like, to me it just seems really baffling and nonsensical. It seems like kind of like a massive oversight to me. And I think regardless, they should.
I bet
If they're
somebody
gonna
from
do
Limited
something,
Run
they
is going to
should-
be in the comments of this video explaining
Yeah.
why we're completely wrong about everything. And you know what? We probably are. But I also think your company is kind of full of shit. Oh, what? I don't think they're.
Well, I mean,
I don't
yeah,
think
like
they're
that's
evil. I just think some of their. I just feel like it's disingenuous for them to market themselves in a particular way when that's not really what they're
when they themselves don't even have to abide by it. Like, when
yeah,
it's most
exactly.
convenient,
Like, yeah,
it's really
like we're
weird.
all
yeah.
about. We're here for preservation. I mean, unless it's not making us money. That's literally what they said.
So like, I wouldn't chalk it up to in that way, personally, because I feel like that's a bit iffy. I do think that they're genuine about their care of wanting to preserve like games that only have limited, well, not limited, but only digital only releases. And I think it's genuine.
I'm gonna say this one
just-
more time.
what?
Physical copies as a way of preservation is a meme and it's not real. Because physical copies will degrade over time. Yeah, maybe it'll be 30, 40 years. Who knows?
Yeah.
Everything
Maybe
is on
for some things
loan.
maybe it'll be 100 years, but you're definitely not going to dig in the fucking sand and find a game that'll work in 100 years. That's not how it's going to work. Real preservation comes from physical games being released and then from other people ripping the code for those games. That's like literally where forever actual preservation of things is going to come.
It was it's very funny because
that's not even really
Yeah.
related to this. That's like another quibble that I have.
earlier in the week, Stranger Things Part 3, the video game, was like delisted from all storefronts. And that happened kind of during all of this tomfoolery.
Yeah.
And so the one limited run guy was like, Stranger Things Part 3 has been delisted from all digital storefronts. Reminder that if you go to a Best Buy, they might still have PlayStation 4 copies of our release still in stores. And I was just like, or you can just like get the GOG version that had no DRM and just like play that.
Especially if it's a limited run. If it's a limited run,
Yeah.
then how are these physical? There's 200 copies of this game in the world that are going to be in the hands of collectors. So people who want to play the game can't play it. So who cares? It exists, but you can't play it.
It's almost
so why
like,
does it matter?
It's almost like they accentuated the issue by being like, by proving that a limited runs are an issue when the game gets delisted and you don't have any more copies.
It's just so it can exist, so that the fucking LOI on the fucking people on the hill who can look down at all the peasants who weren't able to get this limited run game and be like, Scott Pilgrim, I guess you can't play this game.
Their answer to
which isn't even true. Yeah. By the way, but the hard drive on my original Xbox, which was the first game where I bought a lot of digital shit
works.
on,
Yeah.
still works. So you know what? And also I have some PlayStation 1 games which are not that much older than Xbox that don't work because of disk rot.
Yeah.
And I know that's extenuated by storage and stuff like that. And most of the games I have are stored better and don't have that problem. But that's still like an actual thing.
I just want to clarify when I was talking about the Stranger Things like DRM free version of the game.
Yeah.
I wasn't like going like just pirate everything. What I mean, like, if a company decides they don't want to sell a thing anymore, I think it's totally in your right if you want to play it to obtain it any way you possibly can. Because
there's
at that point,
that you're not going to be able to get because of weird licensing issues and this or that.
That's just them basically saying like, oh, well, we don't want to sell it. Fuck it. Too much work. Though the main reason why they delisted it is so you could play it off of Netflix itself, which is fucking weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very weird that Limited Run's response to Stranger Things being delisted was, hey, you could do go to a Best Buy and do a coin flip. They might have copies. It's like, oh, there might be a chance. It's like, what?
Like the thing is, right? And there's a difference. I think it's fair for us to bring this up between a streaming only thing, like something you play on Netflix.
Yeah.
And then a digital version of a game, because a digital version of the game, for all intents and purposes, you own. People are like, you don't really own that. I'm like, it's on my computer, dude. It's on my computer, and computer games in particular.
Yeah.
Unless they have crazy DRM, I'm able to copy over to my next computer. Just take stuff from my hard drive and bring it over, and it's essentially mine forever.
I was listening to the audio companion of that that transparency video that I really like because I'm in it, but also because it's a great video. Go watch it. I'm gonna put
audio companion. Wait, what? What's that?
On their Patreon, they do little audio companions where they talk about the video.
Oh, that's cool.
It's very nice. I like the transparency gals. They're really swell. They are fantastic people. But I was listening to their audio companion, and they were kind of talking about like one of the like so a game they talk about in this video is called Radical Dreamers. Which
I love Radical Dreamers.
Oh, you should watch this video, Spazzy.
Oh man, yeah, that's a game that you cannot play in any official capacity.
Yeah, because it was only on the Satellaview.
Yeah. I've played me some Radical Dreamers.
Yeah, and so a lot of this video is them saying like, you know, like how the fuck else are you gonna play this game? Like how are you? They never made a cartridge. They've never re-released it.
The Satellaview in general has a lot of shit like that. The Satellaview is a great little thing that there's no way to experience almost anything from it. The Super Nintendo Excite Bike is only a Satellaview.
Yep.
Like, you know what I'm saying? And
Yep.
that's like a big Nintendo franchise that you would think skipped the Super Nintendo and went to N64, but it didn't. Also, as an aside, something I always like to bring up, like, I feel like everyone always thinks that Excite Bike's this weird retro franchise, like mysterious, like Takamaru, yeah, or Mock Rider, like one of these games that's like hasn't had an entry since the NES, really. But it's literally had that Super Nintendo game, then it had Excite Bike 64, then it didn't have anything on the GameCube, but it had like 3 games on the Wii. And I know it hasn't had anything for a little while, but you know, neither has like fucking F-Zero. Like,
Excite Bike by
yeah, exactly. Yeah, like that's it's actually a super like active franchise for Nintendo. I always think that's funny. I know that has nothing to do with anything, but like that's always a weird one to me because people are like, you know, retro franchise is like Excite Bike. I'm all like, is it a retro franchise? It's just the only thing is the only entry anyone ever thinks of is the Nintendo one, but that doesn't mean it's a fucking retro franchise.
But
Anyways,
yeah, I don't like not to go down this discussion again for the 30th fucking time on this show, but yeah, preservation, take it seriously and do it right. Watch the transparency video. I'm gonna say the title of the video right now. It is The Death of Video Games: Capturing the Frozen Flame, which is a Radical Dreamers reference.
And if you didn't know it was a Radical Dreamers reference, it sounds really melodramatic.
Well, it's pertinent to like the actual story of the game because the Frozen Flame is like this. Like,
I understand.
Yeah.
So Radical Dreamers, for those that don't know, if you like Chrono Trigger, it's kind of worth checking out. And it was retooled some of the plot points in Chrono Cross, but not nearly 1-to-1. It's really interesting, and it's actually even referenced in Chrono Cross. It's definitely worth checking out, I think.
It's a game. So apparently the story behind it is that Chrono Trigger was like this massive like crunch hell to finish because Square just gave them like no time to make it. And then they were like, hey, you got like 3 to 5 months to make a follow-up, which is
they're like, "Ugh."
absolutely fucked. So they made
I
this like
think it's funny, by the way, that for creating Chrono Trigger, like, oof, good thing we have all these assets and ideas from Secret of Mana that we had to cut out because it was a CD game originally.
Yeah.
We can just reuse some of that shit. Like video game development back in the 90s is hilarious to follow. Anyway, sorry, continue.
But yeah, they made this basically this text adventure game for the
Yes.
Satellaview that is it's like a sequel to Chrono Trigger, except it's like also a spin-off, but it's also like really dark because it's like a meta narrative about how much of a hell it was to develop Chrono Trigger. It's
Yeah,
super
and
interesting.
it's-
Watch the video. It's like an hour and 20 minutes long, but it's really good. It's really worth it. If you can listen to us babble on for 2 hours without absolutely hating our guts, you can watch that video.
But
Yeah,
everybody
I
hate
feel
our
like
guys.
this particular rant may have alienated some people. I don't even know.
I feel
where
like
it's
this is
going.
like the sixth. At this time, it's like it's like the thing we do every other episode. It's like we say something.
Yeah.
We say something mean about The Last of Us. We say the same like 5 or 6 preservation talking points. One of us momentarily plays Smash.
We talk about some classic rock band. I can't tell you which
Yeah.
one exactly.
We make a reference to High Fidelity, like it's
It's what we do.
or we talk about Cape shit.
Sure.
Yep. Anywho,
Shang-Chi was good. It was good. I liked it.
oh my god, we could have talked about, if this episode had come sooner, we could have talked about Cruella and Jungle Cruise.
We can always still talk about whatever.
Yeah, but I think we should get to the main topic. That's
I just
want to
say,
of the video.
I just want to say about Cruella because, like, here's my deal with Cruella. It was a fine movie. It was fun. It was charming. Whatever.
Yeah.
But what is the point of completely retooling Cruella in a way that she no longer fits the narrative of 101 Dalmatians, while also creating the character of the Baroness, who is essentially what Cruella was before? Are we going to get a weird backstory on the Baroness to make her more sympathetic?
No,
because
we're
there's no
getting-
reason to it.
We're getting Cruella 2, baby.
Yeah, but like, what the only thing is because she looks cool and people know the name, but like that character has nothing really to do with the essence of what Cruella is, who is a person that wanted to make dogs into coats. Like, and they're like, you don't have to make every. There could have been a really interesting narrative if Disney was willing to go dark. I know we talk about that Jokester movie a lot, and not everyone is super high up on it, but at least they leaned into him being the Jokester.
I'm the baby Joker.
Yeah. Like, there's a point in the movie where it's like they could have gone dark and been like, no, now that she has the Baroness's dog, she's going to turn him into coats, and she's going to fully embrace who she is to usurp the Baroness and become the new Baroness, because it's her legacy, and because she's been beaten down by not being that, by being a Stella. Like, that's an interesting plot point, but instead it's like, nah, we're a happy family and there's this cute chihuahua and this or that. Like, and once again, I'm not even saying it's bad. It's a fun movie. It's just super unnecessary and kind of dumb that, like, I feel like they're trying to rehabilitate a villain, but like some people are just assholes, man.
Spazzy, you don't understand. Every female Disney villain has to also be a girl boss.
But they introduce the Baroness is the villain. That's the thing. The Baroness is literally old Cruella without the cool, like, aesthetic, even though she does have kind of an okay, like, aesthetic, but like it's like, why? Like what are you doing? Like, and that was another thing. Like, I felt like I don't. Okay, I'm done. I was gonna start ranting about Maleficent all of a sudden, but I'm done. Thank you for bringing up Cruella, Colin.
I liked it. I thought it. I mean, like, not. It's kind of cringe at times, but like otherwise, like, it's fun.
It is fun. Like,
yeah, it's weirdly fun. It's like
It's because you got Emma Thompson and Emma Stone, and the aesthetic is good. The licensed music kind of pushes it sometimes, but for the most part, it's used in a really good way.
Oh
and
yeah,
it's
it's
not
a little silly at
intrusive.
times. They
Yeah.
switch tracks like Suicide
Yes.
Squad style, like the first one.
Like, yeah, first Suicide Squad stuff. I agree.
The
Like,
fucking part where they keep using well, I gotcha, as like a cutaway gag joke. I was like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
but like the characters are likable. It's fun. It's just within the greater context of what and who Cruella is, it bothers me. And I understand.
I think you can pass off a lot of that just by saying like, well, this is the new 101 Dalmatians cinematic universe. Like, it's not directly.
Yes, it's part of the
yeah.
101 Dalmatians cinematic multiverse.
Yeah, exactly. Doctor Strange is gonna show up and be like, "We gotta go to the dimension where you hate dogs."
He's gonna have to fight classic Cruella. Yes, let's do it.
Yo, Cruella versus Joker, base.
Cruella.
It was also really funny how they have that little post-credit scene where like you're like, oh, it's the characters from the movie.
I thought it was crazy, that part where she says we live in a high society. That was just too much.
I think that one the one henchman she has that has like the super Cockney accent, that was a little too much.
I thought it was over the top in a way that I was fine with.
It was like that scene was like, I'm gonna kiss you on the whips, and you're like, okay, all right, you really gotta ham up that line. But yeah, otherwise, I don't know. It's fun. It's weirdly I don't know. Usually these Disney live action movies are just like soulless trash, but this one was like actually pretty all right.
Like it was like I said, it has a lot of fun parts. It's good. It's not only a fun kids movie, but I feel like it's an enjoyable watch. It's just I clearly have a lot of issues with why they did it.
Yeah.
It's baffling to me. I think a lot of it's kind of dumb, and then they try to tie it in at the end with the old one, with Roger singing the song, and I'm all like, it's just everything with Roger and Anita is ridiculous and unnecessary. And why even include it? Why even include it? Like, you could have included that she was friends with Anita, but there's no reason to make like Roger the lawyer, and then all of a sudden he quits to do music and he does a song about how evil Cruella. It's like, oh my god, it was stupid. There's some stupid shit in that movie. Jungle Cruise. That was like the Mummy, but I think like even a little bit more for kids. I guess it was good. It was. I actually didn't like The Rock in that role, even though I like The Rock. I feel like, he looked silly when. Can we do spoilers for Jungle Cruise? If we say there's a spoiler warning,
sure.
So when you find out The Rock is this like this ancient conquistador or whatever, like it's so unbelievable because like he doesn't look like it, but he's like this giant dude. He's like, and he was this Spanish artist. I'm all like, I get it. I get it. He can't speak Spanish because he's not Hispanic. He's like Samoan,
Polynesian, yeah.
Yeah, he's Polynesian. Like he just looks brown, so they said sure he's a conquistador. That's literally what they did.
Yeah, pretty much. It's weird.
So he can't speak Spanish, so it's weird when he tries to say things, and you're like, that's fine. But like he's like this giant dude that's supposed to be like, and like the Spanish conquistadors were not big guys.
Yeah.
And The Rock is like extremely large, and he's supposed to be like this ancient conquistador, but not just like a conquistador, like I'm a conquistador, like I'm a conqueror, I'm a warrior. Like, no, I just came along to draw the maps. I'm just a map guy. Like, that just seemed weird to me. But he's also like very charming in The Rock, so it's not like a big deal.
I liked Jungle Cruise just as like a dumb action movie. Like,
yeah, it's a nice popcorn flick.
It really like truly feels like a blockbuster. Like it actually like really properly felt like they wanted to make a big dumb spectacle movie. And there's like, yeah, we gotta have explosions, we gotta have one-liners, we gotta have people getting
We have to have
wiped the fuck out, we gotta have
a
Jesse
CGI Jaguar that looks awful.
Yeah.
Just awful.
we gotta have Jesse Plemons. It's like,
We have to have an evil German general prince guy, because of course we do.
yeah,
Because we're going heavy like Indiana Jones.
it's not
style
Indiana
vibe.
Jones though, because this is World War One, not World War
War
Two. Haha.
That's why I said German. That's why I said
Yeah,
German warrior,
I know.
or German officer, not a Nazi. Yeah, but clearly, I mean,
Yeah,
basically a Nazi. He's like, if he had hung on a little
his
while, he
ambitions
would've
are
been a
the
Nazi.
same. It's like,
Yes. Yeah, exactly. It's that whole thing where we're all like, all these German soldiers are going after mystical artifacts to help win the war. Like,
Yeah.
it's very.
I wish
there was
Paul Giamatti was in it more. Felt very underutilized.
By the way, I think that one of my more underappreciated tweets is the one where I tweeted those leaked set photos of all the villains from Spider-Man No Way Home, and then I also put a picture of Paul Giamatti and Thomas Hayden Church from Sideways.
That's a good one. Yeah.
I'm all like, people just don't appreciate this. People, apparently there's not a lot of intersections between Sideways fans and people that are speculating on the new Spider-Man movie. I'm sorry.
No, I wasn't about to say Jesse Pinkman. I said Jesse Plemons, Meth Damon. He's in
There's
he's in
actually-
The Irishman.
There's actually something I had a lot of problems with in that movie too that I was about to say with Jungle Book. But you know what I'll say
Jungle
the best
Book.
thing about Jungle Book is?
Jungle Book.
Sorry, Jungle Cruise. Shoot.
Yeah.
I could talk about Jungle Book. I could talk about both. of
No,
them.
let's not. We gotta talk about
we could do
Sonic
that.
at some
we
point.
could get into it.
No, we gotta really talk about Sonic.
Fuck
at some
Sonic
point.
the Hedgehog. Nobody likes Sonic.
No, shut up!
nobody
Don't say
plays the
that.
games.
Don't think it.
They
Don't
like
say it.
We just talk about it. It's the games don't even exist. We just talk about them. It's just like a thing. It's like I'm convinced Sega just releases some video clips, and some people like Phantom pretend they bought a game, and that's it. Like, it's not real.
I'm literally playing it right now. I just finished Sweet Mountain.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
sure you are.
you are.
You are.
You
You
want me
can't
to
see, but
post a
I'm
screenshot?
winking. I'm winking pretty.
I can tell. You sound like it.
Oh, that's why people hate Sonic 1 now. It's because they're not actually playing a game. They're just like watching a video. They're trying to play
What
along.
the fuck are you talking about? There's no game with that name in existence.
It's like
So
it's like
Jungle-
when you hand your younger brother the controller, but it's not plugged in, but they think they're playing along.
So, anyways, the Jungle Cruise. The last thing I want to say about it is that the best part was how faithful The Rock was, and this is why I think he was really good in the role, to being one of the cheesy guides on the Magic Kingdom Jungle Cruise.
Oh yeah, that bit
Like-
is like the best scene in the movie. It's so good.
It's so good. Like, should I show or hide this comment from Romeo Stars that
No, I
says
already
"Fuck
did
you,
it.
Sonic"?
I already
Okay.
took care of it.
You already took care of it. Okay, sweet.
Yeah. Sonic is just a MK Ultra experiment.
Yeah. It's like Polybius. Like, everyone talks about it, but has anyone ever seen a Sonic?
to see how many people it's an MK experiment by the government to see how many people they can just gaslight into becoming furries.
So anyway,
Oh
Sonic
my
Colors is
God.
bad or something? I don't know.
So
So as a person who's quote unquote playing the game, Phantom, how is it?
no, I've taken enough of this. I was gonna say something about LRG, and then you cut me off to talk about freaking Jungle Cruise and Cruella de Vil, whatever her name is. I'm hijacking this conversation now, so I would appreciate it if you don't cut me off. God, do this every show. Jesus Christ!
That's what we do. That's how it
No!
be.
Stop doing that.
This
Okay.
is the battle royale. You gotta
Anyways.
you gotta be loud.
God, I wish I remember what I was gonna say.
That's
about
Sonic's
Russia.
thing, right? Gotta be
Shut
loud like a Sonic.
Shut up. No, you don't get this one. I get this one. This time.
All right, Phantom, the floor is yours.
Yeah, so God, I wish I remember what I was gonna say about the Mirror game, but the topic has moved so far past that. Anyways, Sonic Colors Unlimited. God, I keep thinking it's called Unlimited. Sonic Colors Ultimate dropped September 3rd, which is like this past Friday.
And when it dropped, a lot of dropped early because of digital deluxe, and on all platforms, and it dropped early, and then a lot of people were like, "Hey, game's kind of buggy, game's kind of glitchy," and a lot of videos started dropping, showcasing like a lot of glitches and bugs, like where for instance, like I think it's Sweet Mountain Act 3, where one of the rockets are coming down towards you, like it's just like a quick flash of like random like lights that come towards like the camera. And other instances, like there's some instances where Sonic just like is flashing with like different textures, or like well as he's running. There's another one where like Sonic strangely turned into a fish, and I'm not sure if that's one of the ones that were fake, but I'll mention that later. And now it's basically become like a weird situation of so what happened, because the game is a Wii game originally, a Wii exclusive game, and of course it's not the DS version, but just so it's a Wii exclusive game. They're porting it to all platforms, and it was announced like what earlier this year, and we've known about this for before it was announced, because it was leaked through like a few different places. So like there was this the first mention that we ever saw of it was like there was this German dubbing studio that said that, hey, we completed dubbing of Sonic Colors Ultimate in December of 2020. So that's how we like first found out about it. And then as like the game kept, and then from that it was like, okay, so Sonic Colors Ultimate is actually happening, and they announced it. And then the game drops. It's on Epic Game Store. It's not on Steam. And then it's Blind Squirrel Games is the company that ported it, and they've worked a lot with other ports. I believe though that the Mass Effect trilogy, Mass Effect Remastered, that they did Borderlands on Switch. So if you ever see that tweet about they have no experience on Switch, that's not true. They do have experience on Switch. It's just that most of their titles of ports have been to I guess the bigger platforms, so PS4 and Xbox, and Xbox. And for basically Sonic Colors has launched as an early launch with like a whole bunch of bugs supposedly, and a lot of people have been able to like actually show recordings of like the Switch, like either in handheld mode, where it's like actually like, okay, there's glitches. To people, when you look on Twitter, there's videos with glitches like that, and where you can clearly see that it's posted from Nintendo Switch Share. And so it's not that these glitches do exist, and there was, and just recently the situation turned into a more crazy problem, because there was somebody that was using, what was it? They're not on Twitter anymore, but I think it was
somebody was using the Yuzu emulator, and it was one person.
Yeah, there was one person using an emulator, and they finally they owned up to it, like they admitted it, and so then deleted their account.
They deleted their account, and now Nintendo fans are decrying every video of the games fucking up as from the Yuzu emulator, which is just absurd.
Not the case. Yeah, because the thing is that we also know that other platforms have problems as well. Like while Switch has like a lot of these videos are coming from Switch, and like there's like like how people talk about like there's like the longer load times and stuff like that. Which is like on Switch. It's not, I'm literally playing the game right now. Longer load times are not a problem.
Switch takes 15 seconds to load the first stage. I've not heard about any of the other loading times.
It doesn't,
but I did see the screenshot of it, and it's kind of
from what as I've been playing it through, like literally while we've been doing this episode. Like once you like the first time, because like the game starts with you like in a stage, so it's like Tropical Resort Act 1. It's like, whoa, it's taking a little bit long.
Are we good?
Let me check.
Are we good? It says excellent connection, and it's playing up again.
What's going on? Sorry, I went to the bathroom.
No, just like my XSplit died. So
so our show died.
Yeah, but we should be back, because it says I'm streaming, and we're back. All right, Phantom, roll back what you were saying, like 2 minutes.
Okay, so basically, there's been a lot of talk essentially about speculation, not talk, because we don't really know what happened, but speculation about like what happened. How did Sega fumble the ball again when of course the original Wii game, of course, is just fine, and then you port it, and then it has all of these major issues that, of course, weren't there before, and some people think that it's just like a simple job of doing a Wii port. And also, I guess another question would be like, if the game is like this, how to get past like the like being allowed to be put on the stores and stuff like that. Because we also had like the Cyberpunk situation earlier this year, and like that got taken off. So it's like, it's not like, of course, like it doesn't seem to be like to that level where it's like the game is like absolutely like unplayable and like it literally breaks whenever you touch it. But it's still like issues where it's like if you have like this amount of like colors and stuff going on, that's epilepsy and seizure warnings. That's like they like definitely like not supposed to happen. That people can actually get like hurt from
one of
this.
the craziest ones I've seen is Real.
Yeah. The one where it's like you're at terminal velocity and like the entire map is like full of colors. When you actually start the game, it's just like it's completely like messed up, and it's it's not. I can't say like, of course, I can't really speak to how difficult of a job this must have been. So like look, they'll like come on, like cut them some slack. It's like because first off, in my eyes, if all of this thing is actually happening to like a wide amount of people, like every person who bought the game has been having issues, because some people are saying like they haven't had like they've had some glitch or graphical issues, but not like that as much to like this extent. I'm playing the game right now. I haven't run through a single graphical issue right now, but I've only gone through 2 worlds so far, two worlds fully.
It seems like reloading assets is causing a lot of issues, and trying to load new assets really fast is also causing some issues. I heard it's like consistently triggerable if you switch between the different worlds.
Hey, so I have a question.
Yeah.
Yes.
It looks like every version of this game is kind of janky to one degree or another.
Yeah.
Colors is actually a Sonic game that I've no joke have been meaning to play for years. I've just never gotten around to it.
Yeah.
So the Wii version is still just kind of the version to play at this point?
Seems like it. Yes.
No.
Shut up.
Hold on, wait. So here's the thing, right? Of course, as somebody who's literally playing through it right now, no issues yet. And of course, I'm currently of the mindset of like, well, like of course, like they're seeing all of this stuff, right? They're of course gonna do something about it. And it's like, or I'm thinking about this like a lot of different ways. It's like, because they've had interviews talking about like the development of this port, and they were like, one of them is like them about like, hey, us and Sega are literally going back and forth on a weekly basis, literally testing out every build to make sure that the game is fine. They talked about like how like, hey, this is a game that was originally exclusive to the Wii, so like there's Nintendo like kind of like Nintendo code that wouldn't really work for any other platform. So we're going back to like the original source code and having to like fix stuff and make sure that it can work well on the different platforms, and then also we're having to work with like the textures, the frame rate, because you're making like this I guess like a 480p game, right, or something like that, because we didn't have we have HDMI or
no.
Okay,
No.
yeah, so 480p game, they're making it into at least 1080p or even to 4K, because the other consoles have 4K, and then also 60 FPS for those other consoles. It was like this, and then also working through COVID and stuff like that, which they said that they were able to like easily quickly get adjusted to it. So it's like it seems like on the development side from this interview, of course, I'm not going to look at it from the view of I'm not going to take it from the view that they're lying yet, because the last thing is just, of course, like, oh, if they were lying, then then of course, then that explains like why it would end up this way. But if what they're saying is all true, if they've been working together so close to one another to make sure that the game is good, how did this end up happening? And I'm just on the mindset kind of like, okay, well, I know personally, because we review games, we get review copies early sometimes there's some games that have like some minor, of course nothing to this level, but like some like graphical issues, something like that, and then when games get leaked, as we've seen like in some cases with like Battle in Wonderworld, where like there was like issue like the screen was just flashing white or whatever, and I was like, of course the game leaked, so it was like pre-release, and not all games like actually like come out in like their absolute finished state to get day one patches. So I'm either mindset like, hey, it's gonna get a day one patch that faces these issues, or granted it should be there in the first place, because they were planning to release it as earlier before the day actually what is the real release date, or either something went horribly wrong last minute and they like uploaded like a wrong build. I have no idea, but it just seems it doesn't make a lot of sense that that it ended up in this way, because there's been words that like there's been word like, oh, this game was really supposed to come out. This part was really supposed to come out in 2020. I'm not sure how they were expecting to do that, because the thing is that Sonic Colors Ultimate is coming out again because of the fact of the new hype around Sonic with the new movie, wanting to reintroduce people into like one of the better Sonic.
It was also the anniversary. Like
Yeah,
they needed a game.
Yeah.
I think that's everything. Is they needed the game to come out this year because they needed something for the anniversary, and the Rangers game isn't ready yet. So I think they probably rushed it.
They only have access to the one highly regarded 3D Sonic game, so this is the only one they can do.
Here's where my, I guess, weird kind of hot take comes in. I'm kind of getting sick of, like, remakes of older games.
I mean,
I would count remasters on that.
Well, because this isn't a remaster. This is like basically a remake.
Yeah,
remake.
this is not a remaster.
This is running in
think-
a completely brand new engine.
Yeah,
I think a lot of times it's because it wasn't created in it's to sell it, but it's created
it
in
is
HD assets.
It is
so
a
they'll need to redo a lot.
remaster. It is a remaster, but it is not a faithful one. Like it's not presenting the game as it was then in a higher resolution. It's presenting the game with all of these new graphical effects that
It's not. It's not
the
Skyward
game was never
Sword.
intended to show.
It's like the Crash Bandicoot remake more than. I get what Colin's
it's
saying.
not like the Crash Bandicoot remake. It's more like Xenoblade.
It's more like Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes, where
No, that's actually a remake.
I know. I'm just fucking around.
No, but like they because it's been documented. Like we know that like this new version of Sonic Colors is made in Godot.
Yeah, but the Nocturne
doing their
HD
own thing,
remaster was made in Unity, so
And it seems like digging through it, like it's not like it's not like with Nocturne where Unity's being kind of used as like a wrapper for the game to run in. Like the whole game is just in Godot. And it's just like, I don't know, there's just like a lot of, I don't know, I've just noticed there's been like so many issues lately when like they try to like take a game and put it basically in like a newer, cooler engine, and it seems like it always ends up with a lot of issues. And I'm just like, why don't they just like, I know, I get why a lot of people have pointed out like, oh, it's, Skyward Sword HD is fine. I understand why they didn't go the Skyward Sword HD route, because that like would literally not work, because Skyward Sword HD is like CPU emulation, Wii emulation, but like all the graphical stuff is like running natively on the Switch. Like they can't really do the same thing. But I am...
Yeah, they can't do it because they're targeting multiple platforms.
Yeah, exactly. Like, they wouldn't be able to pull off something like that on the PC without it being a total shit show with, like, changing resolution and stuff. But it is very strange. Like, at the same time, I'm just kind of sitting here like, if they had just... I don't know if you could, like, license Dolphin, but, like, just some way of just, like, being able to just, port or actually just straight up remaster the game, just so it plays wholly faithfully. But I guess the focus is like, nah, we gotta have the good graphics too. It's a very nuanced conversation, and I'm not exactly wording it great, but it basically, I'm just saying, like, it feels very weird that there's been so many instances recently where a company re-releases like a pseudo remake of something, and then it's like oh, like oof, it doesn't work.
I would like just if more older games were available on more platforms. Like, I don't need remakes, but there's more. We do need to shit on Last of Us at least one point in every show. We talked about it earlier. Like, I'm much happier when we just get like The Last of Us like available, and then they up the resolution. And I know that's different because it's like a last gen. It's like 2 gens. It's not like a huge disparity.
Yeah.
But when you have a game and they just up the resolution and up the frame rate, and that's it. That's great. At the same time, like, I don't mind remakes. I just wish older games were available with just some small tweaks and quality of life improvements. Like a good example of that are like the Banjo games, which just run better on Xbox and have some small tweaks to the system and this and that, and they're just like better versions, but they're still like very faithful to the original game in almost every way. Now, I would also love like a remake of the Banjo games. But I just want to make sure that the original games are the games that are very similar to how they were originally presented are available. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can understand that.
Yeah.
I still don't understand like the whole like not calling it a remaster because like like I get it because it's switching engines. Like I get that part, but also like I don't even know. I know it's good the Godot engine, whatever it's called, Godot. But then it's also like when the game starts, it literally also says it doesn't say Godot engine, but it says like the company's engine. It's like I can't remember the name. Blind Squirrel, the Big Squirrel, Blind Squirrel's games. It says with the Blind Squirrel engine. So it's like I guess is it using 2 engines or is like what the Blind Squirrel engine like a built up version of the original with the Godot engine was or something like that. I'm not sure, but I mean it is like it's like a I still think it's a remaster. They describe it they call it a remaster. It's the same game. They went back and like at the touch of textures and stuff like that, and that's just like the cutscenes are literally exactly the same as they were. Of course, like the aspect ratio is like different to fit the screen, but it's still like the exact same video, like the exact same like I guess video from like the original, and then like remake those cutscenes. So it's like wouldn't that just still be like a remaster? Like I feel like if it was like a remake, wouldn't you like go and like redo that stuff as well?
Fun fact: they actually they used Godot, but they forgot to credit it.
I thought so. Yeah, is that? So people were saying like they don't have to do that.
They don't have to, but they did indeed forget because they responded to a tweet about it saying, "Oh, sorry, we forgot. We thought we went over the credits thoroughly. We'll be adding it in a patch." So at least they're being upfront about that.
Yeah,
that's not. I guess it's not that big of a deal. Like it would be more different. Like, hey,
it's not that big of a deal. They didn't have to do it, but it's good that they are.
Yeah. It's just and like earlier. So I'm not sure where people are hearing this, and I even looked to like through Zippo's like what was it? Through Zippo's like blog to see if he originally said anything about like the Sonic Colors Ultimate being coming out last year, because I don't remember hearing about that in terms of like leaks or rumors or anything like that. I feel like people are way more saying it like now, like this was supposed to be out last year. But the thing is that like if this was planned, of course, like they probably planned it like a little bit before the actual movie like ended up doing successfully. But like if this was planned to be because to choose this game specifically, not also was like this one that they can do, but also because the movie did well, so we want to introduce new fans. If it was good, and also like I guess even if aside from COVID, how quick did they expect it to be a turnaround job if the case of it being still coming out in 2020 is true? Because we know that of course the German dubbing ended in December of 2022, or they completely ended December of 2022. Not 2020. Well, 2020. My bad. They the German dubbing in 2020. If the project or plan started in 2020, how quick did they expect it to be a turnout? But we know that they started at least in 2020, which means that they had 2020 and then to now, or at least not like literally now, but at least like what 2-3 months before.
Okay, so
like, what,
I see.
July or June.
I see what the issue with the whole Godot situation is. Apparently, the engine Sonic Colors Ultimate uses is a mix of Godot 3 and some of the original coding of the original Wii release. But the thing is, the game calls the engine the Blind Squirrel engine.
Oh, okay.
That's
because they in the interview they literally said that they went back to they literally say in the interview they went back to the original source code. They have it. They have the original source code. And of course, there's just some things that they had to be changed.
They didn't mention Godot. They were like, "Oh, this is our new original engine."
I'm personally just a little upset because I thought we were
That's
just going to
pretty
talk about
scummy.
the Samuel Beckett play, Waiting for Godot, but I
Oh,
guess not.
also,
Oh my gosh.
also weirdly enough, there's Sonic and the Black Knight assets in the game.
Sonic and the Black Knight is a game I
They
think I
would
totally
be in there
own
from the
on Wii.
original. You see, Colors was built on the back of Black Knight because it's the same development team.
But there's like menu
Wait,
textures in it.
How does that?
Yes,
What do you mean?
they would be. They're probably there from the original files
Oh my god.
Wait, did Black Knight come out before or after Colors?
before, and it's the same
Before.
development team.
I think for Sonic, no, it was definitely before. I think it was Secret Rings and then Black Knight and then Colors was like the
Yes.
Sonic Wii game.
I
People
never heard
make the
about-
misconception that Colors was developed by the same people as Generations and Unleashed, but no, it was
No.
the storybook developers.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna post the cutting room floor page because this is really
I
interesting.
didn't.
I feel like if Colors was developed by the Unleashed developers, they wouldn't have gotten rid of separating the homing attack and jump button, because if there's any game that needs that, it's absolutely Sonic Colors.
Wait, Sonic Colors has that mapped onto the same thing.
Yeah, it has it on the same thing, but it shouldn't,
Why not?
because you can accidentally homing attack when you want to double jump.
I feel like
Oh,
part of the reason Colors was well received too is because it brought back some of the 2D platforming aspects.
Colors,
but then
no,
Generation
no.
did that.
So Colors was well received because people liked the Sonic stages from Unleashed, but they didn't like anything else around the game. So Colors just got rid of everything else around.
Mm. I mean, I like the Warhog, but and also the 2D stages. A lot of people don't like the 2D stages, but the more like the 2D aspect of like Sonic Colors. I like
I
them.
think back in the day though, I feel like people liked it. Maybe I'm
People
wrong. Maybe
liked
I'm-
Sonic Colors, yes, but it is a game that people have started turning around on over time. Myself included. That game is dumpster fire.
No,
Oh my god.
I mean, yeah, it's not like it like, and also like people changing their opinion. It's not like just like a recently occurring thing. Like there's been like a lot of people at least.
It's weird to me how many people are championing Unleashed, because as somebody that was like in my 20s when that game came out, like nobody liked that game. I think it's a lot of people that grew up with it as kids that are
Unleashed is incredibly flawed. The level design in the daytime stages is excellent. That's why the best Sonic game ever made is the Sonic Unleashed project for Sonic Generations PC.
I mean, yeah, I played Unleashed as a kid, but I do often go back to Unleashed and play literally like the daytime and night stations that I like. So
yeah, but I mean, I also play some jank ass NES games and think they're great. When you're a kid, you're dumb.
well, yeah, but I'm not a kid anymore, am I?
I know, but I'm saying I go back and I play like Jaws for the NES as an adult. I'm like, this game is great. It's not great. I just have fond memories of playing it as a kid, and it the nostalgia still hits me, so I go back and then and I argue why like I think Zelda 1 is still like a fine game. I don't understand why people can't just fucking play that game now. It's so easy to get into.
I did turn around on Zelda 1. It just took me 4 playthroughs.
It takes a while. Like Zelda 1, like it is a game of familiarity, to be honest with you, because once you know the map and stuff, like you can just kind of enjoy going through.
Yeah, you have to know the map.
Yep.
But once you do it is pretty enjoyable. It's an enjoyable game.
Yeah. But yeah, I like it. So it's just weird to me that people would praise Colors. I think also people praised Colors just because of what came before it. Like Sonic was in a really kind of bad patch for a while,
like always.
So we're like, oh yeah. So we're like, this is not in the early to mid 90s.
Fair enough.
like,
I guess. Sure.
Yeah.
Whatever you say.
It all started with 3D Blast. That's when people were all like, huh.
Okay, wait, never mind. Okay. I think you said something else.
No, people liked Adventure.
No. People usually
people liked Adventure.
You know the meme of Sonic's always had a rocky transition into the 3D environment.
Yeah, it's true.
That's what I thought. It's okay. Yeah, it's true. But hearing it's annoying.
Yeah, but it's true.
It's
but
sure.
But what I'm saying is 3D Blast was 3D Blast was
not that good,
was pretty much where things started to like as an old thinking about Sonic and thinking about how Sonic was like the biggest thing in the world and when things started to turn around. Well, I feel like when it came to the 32-bit era, like there was a boom in 3D platformers, but around the PS2 that started to kind of die and not become as big of a genre. So that definitely hurt them. And then, but the fact was that when 3D platformers were being kind of, it's the second time I'm going to use this phrase today, codified as to what is a 3D platformer, and then all of the most influential ones and all of that were from the N64 or PS1 era. Sonic missed out on that. So there's no like quintessential defining Sonic 3D platformer until Adventure, and at that point, like it was very different, and like 3D platformers were already kind of on the way out, man. Like think about the PS2 and the Xbox and even the GameCube. Beyond a few examples, there weren't really that many 3D platformers anymore. Like platformers were on the way out. Like so, yeah, like that. I feel like that really hurt Sonic, and then the fact that Adventure and Adventure 2 were fairly good and well-received games, but then it never really found its footing anywhere else.
Yeah, and then Heroes happened.
Yeah, like I feel like Crash basically usurped what Sonic represented in the 3D platformer space.
And
like
then
completely.
Crash itself fell off too.
Yep. It's a weird set of circumstances that led to Sonic being what it is.
Okay.
And then like Nintendo, at least like when it comes to Mario in particular, because that's their flagship, when it comes to the mainline Mario games, even something like New Super Mario Brothers, which is very derivative, I feel like they make sure there's a certain quality standard that comes to it. They won't just release a Mario game. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Maybe a spin-off, but not a mainline platforming Mario game. And I feel like Sega kind of lost that along the way. I feel like that's part of the problem, is that like you don't release just anything that has Sonic on it and feel like it'll sell because it's Sonic.
Yeah,
and it has.
They always rushed the Sonic games, like they literally always did. It's just it started backfiring heavily when they got to 3D and games became more complex to make.
Yeah, it's.
Yep.
I think part of the reason why like Sonic has still been able to go on that because like the game, like they don't get like high sales numbers. For instance, like I think.
Yes, they do.
Well,
they do get high sales numbers.
I'm talking about in comparison to like what didn't the older titles like haven't sales like in terms like hasn't as time going like they dwindle as in like the previous game would have sold more, but like it's still selling high, but it's not like as high as the last game or something like that.
I'm not quite sure, but it is still selling.
Yeah,
like
I'm not saying it doesn't sell well. I didn't mean to say like it doesn't sell. I'm just saying like the number doesn't have like the exact same or like close or like exactly like that close. That's what I meant. But like also like Sonic is also kind of like a Mario where you can like put Sonic. You have Sonic do a lot of different things, so it's also be able to get through because of that. Because you have like even though like the 3D games at the same time have been kind of like iffy. You also have like the other titles like the Sonic Advance titles. You have the Sonic Rush titles. You have the Sonic Riders. You have the All Stars Racing. You have
but that's the thing is, and I think that's what I'm saying is it's just like Mario is like Mario. Like you can have a bad Mario golf game, and that's not going to hurt the prestige of the Mario IP, because Nintendo always makes sure that there are one or two mainline Mario games on each platform, and that they are always good. Yeah. And Sega, like Sega, that's fine to like take Sonic out and use the IP, but it's sad that like fucking Alex Kidd and like House of the Dead and there's these other Sega remakes that all look better than what Sonic ended up being, and I'm sure they are. Like there's no reason to. It's like Sonic needs to be a prestige brand for Sega, and it's become a joke because they don't give it the time that it needs. Like, honestly, I think that's what it is. It's not even about, and I mean, part of it is like, oh, we have to find the right formula, and we have to find this. Well, you know what? Finding the right formula has nothing to do with how fucking buggy a game is. And all these Sonic games end up being buggy. And that's not about like, oh, but Sonic needs to like figure something else out. No, that's like, you didn't do the thing you wanted to do right. That's what that's about.
They found a good formula, and then people started complaining about it. So, I don't know. I looked into the
Yeah,
cutting room
like-
form stuff with the Black Knight textures in Sonic Colors. I'm assuming they're there because they were in the source files, because they're not in the Wii version. But it was the same development team, so that would be the reason why they're there.
Interesting. I just
Yeah,
think
the
all
House of the
stuff
Dead
on that-
remake looks kind of bad.
Yeah.
Oof.
I think it looks fine because it's what I want out of a House of the Dead remake.
Well,
Like, what do you want out of it? Like, because it seems very faithful to the original,
I want
and
a
I don't want
Switch
like
port.
the whole
I want a Switch port of that new one.
Wait, what happened? What are you talking about?
the House of the
House
Dead
of
port.
Dead.
I think it looks fine.
Okay.
Like, because like I wanted something that would stick to how House of the Dead look and felt, and it does. It just looks like an updated version of that. It's not like a completely new experience. And I'll stick with that. I do feel like the Panzer Dragoon remakes were a little off, but what you gonna do?
yeah. It does fit the kind of game it is. I will give you that. The whole jank bad animation.
Yeah, I like all the Wonder Boy game they had a couple years ago. That was pretty great. The Dragon's Trap.
Hmm.
I thought that was fantastic. But the base game is fantastic. That's why some people are playing the Alex Kidd one. They're like, it's not as good as when they did the same shit with Wonder Boy. I'm like, it's because Wonder Boy is a better game than Alex Kidd. Like this.
Yeah.
Is what it is.
Otherwise, like that was like pretty good. The Alex Kidd release. It just like
It's just still Alex Kidd.
yeah, it's just Alex Kidd. Yeah, exactly. Oh man, do we want to wrap this up? It's been 2 hours.
Yeah, it's been.
Yeah, I would like to. I don't. Yeah,
Hasn't it been like 3 hours at this point?
No,
No, 'cause we
started
started at
at
11.
we started at 11, so it's been like 2 hours. And
Oh yeah, it's been 2
minutes,
hours.
I
Okay.
guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My brain.
Well, gamers, thanks for joining us. Thanks for listening to us bitch
Ramble.
per usual. Yeah.
Yeah.
People are gonna be like, "Why are you guys always so negative?" I'm like, "Because it's fucking early in the morning."
Okay,
man. We just-
I
I
just
talked
woke
for
up.
if we
like
did good evening force
I-
gaming, it'd be so much more.
I talked for
amiable.
15 minutes about how much I love Great Ace Attorney. It's good. Don't worry.
Exactly.
I'm positive, except
link-
about Sonic the Hedgehog.
Links down below to all of our various social media and our Patreon if you want to help us out. It does a lot for us. It's very cool, very epic. And yeah, hope
Thank
y'all
you to
have a-
everyone on the screen for supporting us.
Oh, I don't have the credits. Whoops.
Oh no!
You know what looks
do
really
that.
good? That new Jet Set Radio. That's not actually Jet Set Radio.
Bomb Rush Cyberpunk.
Here, let me put the credits on screen real quick.
Yes.
Did we not update for August?
This moment.
There is no update for August.
Okay.
There is no August. We're skipping August this year.
Well, if Google Drive will fucking
August
work.
didn't
There we
happen.
go. There we go. Save. There it is. Wow. Here it comes. It's coming down fast on the Helter Skelter. There it goes.
Mhm. Thank you to everyone
Wow.
who supported us. Really
Hope y'all-
appreciate all the support. Hope
Yep.
y'all have a nice day.
Have a
Bye,
good
guys.
one, Game Assassins.
Bye bye.
Bubba. Bubba.
Gamers.